and thank you for joining Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter this evening as we celebrate AKA Caregivers Community Impact Day. Tonight's event, Caregiving for Our Loved Ones Through the Years. Part 1, How to Navigate Aging and Disability Services. Whether you're caring for youth, young adults, seniors, or those with special needs, we know that caregiving can be rewarding though challenging. We hope that our discussion provides information and resources to assist you and your family. Before we begin, a word from UEO Chapter President, Kendra Brown.
Hello, my name is Kendra Brown and I bring you greetings on behalf of the Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Dr. Glinda Baskin-Glover, our International President, and our North Atlantic Regional Director, Mary Bentley Lamar. Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter has served the Baltimore County community since 1994 and is delighted to remain of service to all mankind and to our sisterhood as we continue uplifting and empowering our community. Thank you for tuning into our conversation in connection with our Caregivers Community Impact Day. We do hope that at the conclusion of this conversation, you will be informed and have resources that equip you, our community, with tools to navigate the aging process. Again, we especially thank Mrs. Lynn McCamie, our very own Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter member, for her commitment and leadership of our Caregiver Program, and also our chapter vice president, Dr. Nakia Showell. Again, we thank you for tuning into the conversation.
Hello and welcome to what is hoped to be a great presentation on navigating the aging services from a caregiver's perspective. This evening, we're going to have 3 lovely panelists who are experts in the fields that they will represent. We first will have Anne-Marie Riehl talking about caregivers and the Respite program through Baltimore County Department of Aging. Mary Pivawer, who will be talking about information and referral, how older adults and individuals with disabilities get connected to services Baltimore County has to offer for the respective individuals. And finally, we will have a presentation by Sherry Kolbe, which will talk about the Senior Health Insurance Patrol Program and Medicare. All of these topics are really, really important to understanding how to keep your loved ones safe, educated, and informed when it comes to the variety of aging and individual with disability services for Baltimore County Department of Aging. Sit back and enjoy. The information will be very, very useful, and I hope that you will get something out of it.
Hello, and welcome to our presentation today. My name is Anne-Marie Riehl, and I'm the manager of the Caregivers Program with the Baltimore County Department of Aging. The Caregivers Program is funded through the federal government's National Family Caregiver Support Program and serves family caregivers of older adults, as well as grandparents or other older relatives raising grandchildren. Our goal is to provide resources, support, educational programs to you as the caregiver. I'd like to give you a quick overview of these services, and you can certainly call our office for more details or dates of upcoming events. Our caregiver resource session is a good starting point to learn more. These are currently being held virtually, and you would likely hear information similar to what you may gather today, but with more details and dates of upcoming programs and any new offerings at that time. A caregiver consultation can be set up, and this is a free private consultation with a caregiver specialist from our office who will review with your current caregiving situation and pair it with specific resources that may be available to you. This may include determining if you qualify for financial assistance programs, various respite opportunities, and strategies for staying healthy and resilient as a caregiver. The Caregiver Support Network combines resources with a support group. The Caregiver Support Network meets once a month in the evening via the WebEx platform. We have a guest speaker present during the first hour on a topic of interest to caregivers, and the second hour is set aside to share current challenges, strategies, new resources, or just ask questions of other caregivers. We have covered topics on home modification, nutrition, hospice, mental health, Medicare, legal documents, medication management, and we have some really great programs coming up in the next few months. A sampling of our educational offerings include Building Better Caregivers, which is an evidence-based program, a 6-week series that works through how to reduce stress, improve caregiver confidence, establish balance with responsibilities, communicate needs effectively, and how to make tough decisions and locate helpful resources. We offer several levels of dementia education. Dementia Friends is a 1-hour course on the basics of dementia and the experiences someone living with dementia may be having. Dementia Live is a high-impact dementia simulation experience that immerses participants into life with dementia, resulting in a deeper understanding of what it is like to live with a cognitive impairment and sensory change. That program is about 2 hours in length. The Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregivers has trained some of our staff to offer the Dealing with Dementia workshop. This evidence-based program is an interactive seminar that provides more in-depth information about the various types of dementia and how it can progress, how to advocate for your care partner, managing stressful situations, and the changes that can come day to day, as well as how to prioritize self-care for the caregiver. Attendees will receive a 300-page guide as part of their registration. This workshop is 4 hours in length with some breaks built in. And finally, but certainly not least, is our Caregiver Conference, which is scheduled annually during November in recognition of Caregivers Month. This year, our focus was on bringing creativity to caregiving and thinking outside the box. We do produce a quarterly newsletter in which we list upcoming events and helpful articles. You can receive this by mail or by subscribing on our website. One other further offering that comes from our office is a respite grant. There are some limited financial assistance available to those that qualify. The Caregivers Program is also happy to announce the Dementia Friendly Initiative, which aims to increase awareness and help support persons living with Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias, and supporting their care partners as well, by having a community that is informed, safe, respectful of these individuals across all sectors so they can access the resources they seek. These resources may include banking, communities of faith, legal, financial planning, transportation, housing, emergency first response, and other businesses like a restaurant. Our goal is for the community members and their care partners to thrive as best they can for as long as they can. All of this information and ways to contact us can be found on the Baltimore County Department of Aging website under Caregivers, as well as the resource number that you will be provided with shortly.
Hello, my name is Mary Pivawer, and I am the manager of the Maryland Access Point office at the Baltimore County Department of Aging. Maryland Access Point office is a great starting place to find out your initial questions about how to assist someone who is an older adult or an individual with disabilities. There's a MAP office, we say MAP for short, in every county in Maryland. If you're not from Baltimore County, you can find out how to access the office in your local area by calling the state 800 number. That number is 1-844-7 627 5465. And they will direct you to your local county office. So each county operates its own office to provide information and referral about resources that are available in their particular county. So I work in Baltimore County, and we are responding both over the telephone and by email to inquiries about a whole range of topics related to older adults and individuals with disabilities. We receive calls and contacts from older adults themselves, from people with disabilities, from their family members, from their friends, and sometimes from other professionals as well. The people who are responding to your inquiries in the Maryland Access Point offices are certified information and referral specialists. That means they've been specially trained in how to respond to call center operations, as well as inquiries about older adults and individuals with disabilities. When they are responding, they don't have everything in their head. They are working with a very large database that offers them information that they can share with you about a variety of resources. So if you're looking for a place to start and you're not sure where to begin in terms of trying to help someone, we're a great place. So could be a whole range of topics. So for instance, perhaps somebody is no longer driving and you want to find out what the transportation options are in Baltimore County. Or perhaps you want to learn how to make a will and you're not sure how to go about doing that or who to contact about that. Perhaps you're dealing with somebody who has just recently lost a spouse and their income situation has changed dramatically. And now they're in much more financial need than they were when their spouse was alive. And you want to find out, well, are there any benefits or resources that I can access? Do I qualify for those benefits? We can screen people for that. Or perhaps you're looking at a situation where your loved one, an older adult or an individual with disability, who has had some change in their health situation. They've become more forgetful. They've had a dramatic decline in their physical health. And you're trying to find out, well, what do I do next? How can I get more help for them, either in the community, or is it time to be looking beyond the community and into more supportive settings? So our staff can provide you information to begin that process. So we're not the ones that are going to take you all the way through the process, but we're the ones that are going to start and connect you to that initial basket of information that you might need. So you can reach us by email, and we'll put our email in the chat. We do prefer, though, to talk with you on the phone, because part of what we do is we ask questions to be able to find out information about the specifics of your situation. And that gives us a better idea of where to send you to. And that's a little harder to do in email. So the preference would be for someone who's beginning this process would be to call us. We operate Mondays through Fridays, 8:30 to 4:30. You can reach us at 410-887-2594. So that information is for Baltimore County. And you want to call into the county where your loved one lives, where the older adult or the individual with disability that you're asking about lives, because the basis of all the supports is going to be in the county where they live. Okay, so we're going to provide you information, phone numbers, contact information, details about the services that we're connecting you to. That's all in our database. We can send you information either by mail or email. We have a lot of really wonderful publications in Baltimore County that we can send out to you and to help you learn about the resources that are out there. And so that's something that we can forward to you. In addition to the direct staff that work at that center, we also have a partnership with our local Center for Independent Living, which is in our county, the Image Center. They're the specialists in disability resources. So here at the Department of Aging, our background has always been in older adults. We partnered with the folks from the Image Center to be able to enhance and really provide a very thorough knowledge and information about older adults as well as individuals with disabilities. So we may connect you if your individual is that you're caring for is younger. We may connect you with that program. And we have a number of staff that we work closely with. Also part of our office is you can contact our phone number if you're looking to have a speakers event or an information table at a fair. We can provide staff that is available to do that for groups. So that request is made to that same phone number. We haven't done as many during COVID, but we have done a number of ones like these where we can provide the speaker virtually. And those speakers can talk about the general services of the Department of Aging, as well as some more specific topics. If that's something that you need for your community group or your organization, we recommend contacting us about 4 to 6 weeks in advance of the event, because we need to ensure that we can find somebody who's available to speak with you. Another part of our services at the Maryland Access Point office is what we call our loan closet. The loan closet offers free durable medical equipment to be lent out to people who live in Baltimore County who are over the age of 60. So this program is targeted specifically at our older adults. We have a number of pieces of equipment that we own that we're happy to share with you. Some of them are mobility equipment, things like wheelchairs and transport chairs, walkers, rollators, canes. Some of them are safety equipment for the bathroom, things like to make your toilet seat higher or to make it easier to get in and out of the bathtub, tub seat or transfer bench. There are also adaptive pieces of equipment, things like reachers to help you reach and grab things that are further away, or a sock aid to help you put your socks on easier. So if that's something that you feel like a loved one would benefit from, first, you can try and see if any of that equipment is covered under your insurance, and Sherry will be talking about that shortly. There are some pieces of equipment that Medicare will pay for. The mobility pieces of equipment are the ones that come to mind, but many of them are not covered under Medicare. So unfortunately, none of the bathroom safety equipment is covered under Medicare. So what you can do is you can call us, check if the piece of equipment that you need is available. We do have a limited supply, so it's not always in stock. You can reserve that item and then come to our Towson office to pick that item up. You can keep it for as long as you need it, and then you return it when you're done. A couple of the more sophisticated items do have a deposit that gets returned to you when you bring the item back. But for the most part, the equipment is available for free. Occasionally, we also have donations in that loan closet of incontinence products, which is something that can often be a very high expense for older adults. And if we have that available, we can make that available to you as well. Finally, in addition to that, we also have a lot of information and a lot of samples of assistive technology. These are smaller products. So think wheelchairs, a larger durable medical equipment. We have smaller items. So things that are adaptive equipment for eating, for visual impairments, for hearing impairments. And we can give you information about those items. We do have those items available to demonstrate here in the Maryland Access Point office. During COVID, we got away from, again, doing that, but that is something that is available. You can try that out. Those items are not available for loan because they don't lend themselves to reuse. but they are available, and then you can try them and see if there's something that works for you or your loved one. And then before you have to go out and purchase money on it for their use. So those are the primary things that we're offering here in our offices. Our offices are located in Towson at 611 Central Avenue. The MAP office is on the second floor in room 220. We look forward to you stopping in and talking with us, or contacting us at 410-887-2594. Thanks.
Hello, I'm very happy to be able to speak with you today about my favorite subject, and that is Medicare. Now, many of the people that I speak with, they only want to hear about Medicare when they're right against it. So if you're not familiar with Medicare, and now you're taking care of someone, I'm going to do a very brief review over the next few minutes, but I do webinars once or twice a month, and they last an hour and a half. So Medicare is fairly complicated, and if you'd like the full presentation, please call the office at 6, and the number is 410-887-2059. We'll let you know when the next webinar is, and I certainly hope the libraries open up soon so we can get back there. Now, if you have a group that would like a presentation, I am open to going anywhere in the county, again, Baltimore County, to do a presentation. Okay, so first of all, I just want to go over the basics of Medicare. All right, so if somebody is on original Medicare, that means they're using their red, white, and blue Medicare card. So you know that it has two pieces, hospitalization and the medical. So for the hospitalization piece, if your loved one is admitted to the hospital for 2021, that would have been a $1,484 deductible. If your loved one is out of the hospital and skilled nursing facility for 60 days and is readmitted, again, you pay $1,484. So the deductible is per benefit period, and a benefit period begins when you've been out of the hospital and skilled nursing facility for 60 days. Okay, then to go quickly to Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B, I usually think I pay for everything outpatient. Medicare pays 80% and you pay 20%. There is a Part B deductible, but it is an annual deductible. It's only $203 this year. And then once that's paid, then the Medicare kicks in with 80% and you're paying 20%. One thing that's a little bit strange is Medicare Part B is on board, pays for the doctor no matter where the doctor is, even if it's the cardiac surgeon in the hospital that's doing your surgery. That is paid for by Medicare Part B, which does mean the hospital bills get a little bit convoluted because multiple people are billing you. Okay, so there you have your Medicare A and B. If you're just using that card, you can go to any doctor in the nation that accepts Medicare. You do not need a referral. There are no networks. But the sicker you are, the more tests, the more doctors you're seeing, and the cost goes up, up, and up, and there is no out-of-pocket limit. So you're like, oh, well, I don't like that. So then what can you do? Well, the next thing you can think of is getting a Medicare supplement, which is also called a Medigap. They do mean the same thing. And this is a type of insurance that literally fills in the holes of Medicare. For instance, would cover that Part A deductible, would cover potentially the B deductible, and the 20% that you face with Medicare Part B. All right, so that type of insurance, if you want to purchase it, you would call the Maryland Insurance Administration, ask them to mail you a Medicare supplement pricing booklet. The phone number is 410-468-2244. This booklet will list the 30 companies that sell, which Medicaps they sell, and their pricing. Now, these types of insurance, to get an F, which works perfectly with Medicare, there are no out-of-pockets. That would, at 65, would be like $170 a month. A G where you'd have to pay the $203 deductible for Part B, and then everything's covered. That's like $150. And then N, which has some more out of pocket, would be $120. So when you're looking to get a Medigap, you think, now how much coverage do I want? What risk am I willing to take? And actually, what is my budget? The other thing with the Medigap, the pricing does go up as you get older, and it goes up strikingly. At 85, you might be paying $350 a month for what you were paying $150 for whenever you were 65. And so we do get calls definitely from people who are in their 80s about, my, went up, what can I do? Okay, now with the Medigap, they do not cover drugs. So whether you're just using the red, white, and blue card, you need a drug plan. Or if you have using your red, white, and blue card with your Medigap, you need a drug plan. Now, whether you're just on original Medicare or you're using the Medicare supplements, you can go to any doctor in the nation, no referral. But these do not provide any dental or vision or hearing. Okay, now I did mention the Part D, the drug plan. Some people say to me, I take no drugs. You have to have a Part D or have coverage through a retiree health benefit or the VA, or else you will get a penalty for the Part D. You are supposed to have coverage beginning at 65. And if your loved one has not had a Part D for 5, 10, or more years, please call us and we'll go into how the penalty works. So you might say, you're looking at your budget and you're like, well, wait a minute. Part A is free. Part B this year was $148.50 per month. If I get a Medigap, we're talking about another $150 or more per month. And you're like, well, wait a minute, my budget doesn't go that far. So what else is out there? Okay, what else is out there if you do not have a retiree health benefit from where you work is to think about your Medicare Advantage plan. Now, they're being advertised all the time on TV, and they're made to sound a little bit better on those ads than they really are in person. So the Medicare Advantage plans are your Medicare health plans. They're your Medicare HMOs and PPOs. They're the all-in-one plan. It all means the same thing. Now, these are substitutes for the red, white, and blue Medicare card. So when you're on an HMO with Kaiser, Cigna, Care First, or Hopkins, those are the companies in Baltimore County, you would put your Medicare card in a drawer, and let's say, for instance, you would use the Hopkins HMO card for doctors, hospital, lab, x-ray, and the prescriptions at the pharmacy. Most of these plans do provide an eye exam and maybe $100, $150 towards the glasses. They will provide preventive dental usually. Dental work, you might have to buy a rider if you actually want fillings and caps and so forth done. And they may also pay for a hearing exam and possibly money towards a hearing aid. Each one of them, the benefits are a little bit different. So you're going to have to call the plan to really get the details. Now, if you're in an HMO, you must go in network for doctors, hospital, lab, x-ray, and pharmacy. So the whole thing, you must go in network or else you pay 100%. And when it's on TV, it makes it sound like this is all free, but it is not free. Every time you get a service, it's like an a la carte menu. Every time, if you want the salad, you pay, the main, you pay, the dessert, you pay. It's the same thing with an HMO. You may pay little to nothing for your primary, but your specialist is going to be about $50 a visit. You get a CAT scan MRI, it's $175 to $250 each. If you're hospitalized, it's $250 to $390 a day, say 1 to 5 or 6. So just like if you were just using the red, white, and blue card, the sicker you are, the more you pay, the more you pay, the more you pay. The biggest advantage to an Advantage plan is there is an out-of-pocket limit. It is $7,550. So if you've been very sick, and you've seen lots of doctors, lots of tests and so forth, once you have paid in copay $7,550, then and only then will the plan pay for the remainder of your health care for that calendar year. Now, the amount you spend on drugs is not included in the $7,550. So who in the world gets what Joe Namath is talking about on TV? That would be somebody with a very low income. Either they're on SSI, where their income is no more than $793 a month, or they're on a program that falls under the umbrella of medical assistance, but is not quite as good as medical assistance. It's called QMB, Qualified Medicare Beneficiary. For a single to get that, their gross income must not be $1 over $1,093, and their assets under $8,000. So if your income is over that, which the majority of people watching TV probably is, then you are going to be paying copay. If you're under those numbers, yes, you will not pay any copay. You will have basically free medical care as long as Medicare pays. Then your medical assistance or your QMB would pay. There are other programs. The QMB will also pay the Medicare Part B premium. There's another program called SLIMB. I know these are strange terms, but it will pay the Medicare Part B premium only. So the bottom line from this is, if you think or you want to explore, is my loved one eligible for any of this, just call the office, the 410-887-2059, and we'll see. The next call that we get a lot from is, I can't afford my prescription. So there is a program called Extra Help. It's actually administered through Social Security. So if your income for a single is under $1,630 and the assets are under $14,000, you would be eligible for some help with the drug premium, the drug deductible, and the drug cost. There are several levels of extra help, and the lower your income, the better the coverage you're going to get. When in doubt, again, call my office and we'll see if your loved one is eligible. Whenever someone calls, I can't afford my Medicare costs, I can't afford my prescription costs, the first thing we're going to ask is gross income and gross asset level, so that we can then determine which benefits you're eligible for, and we can really explain to you and give you the best advice. Now, there is a CHIP office in every county in the nation. You can actually Google State Health Insurance Assistance Program, because that's what CHIP stands for. And there is no local office for Medicare. So it's a federal grant, literally, and so we're sort of the local office for Medicare. Most of Baltimore County's help is given by telephone. If you really want to come into the office, we would need to make an appointment. The counselors in this office are all volunteers. They work 3 or 6 hours a week. So there's not a guarantee that one of them will be in the office, which is why we have to make an appointment if you want to come in. But usually we can take care of everything over the phone. This fall, right now, we were in the throes of the Medicare open enrollment, which is October 15th to December 7th. This is the time when you can switch drug plans or go from original Medicare to an HMO, or an HMO to another HMO, or an HMO back to original Medicare. And any changes we make in this period will be effective for January the 1st. This is the time of year when I do take a team of 5 volunteers. Every day we go out into the community to various senior centers by appointment, and we will do the drug research, because you have to use Medicare.gov, and the software on the plan finder is what sorts through which is the best plan for the person. It has nothing to do with what Medigap company you're with. It's completely separate, and we do the research. In fact, we were doing it today in Towson, and tomorrow we'll be at Catonsville. So we do travel around the county to try to serve you. So that's basically it in a nutshell, but believe me, there are lots of other little fine points that would be beneficial for you to know as a caregiver. So I would really stress that you try to attend one of the webinars that I give, and hopefully soon we will be back in the community. That was really much better face to face. One thing before I leave you, Medicare enrollment is all done, strangely enough, by Social Security. It is not done by Medicare. But once you're enrolled, you can call my office, but we will take several days to get back to you. If you need instant help, Medicare, 1-800-Medicare is open 24/7 to assist you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to hear from you in the future if you have questions either about yourself, your loved one, or a friend. Thank you.
For National Caregivers Day, UEO has additional resources for you and your family. If you are looking for inspiration or insight, you might want to check out our Best Books for Caregivers list. UEO has also compiled information from local agencies and organizations for the 2021 Caregivers Resource Guide. Both are available to download at bit.ly/UEO Caregivers Day. And now, back to our program.
Hello, and thank you so much to our wonderful panelist group, all from Baltimore County Department of Aging. You shared such wonderful information, but I have a few things that I just want to make sure our listeners are getting their ears perked in and tuned in to the information. So for each of you all, can you tell me what would be one of the most important takeaways for your program that you think the community should be aware of? And maybe Anne-Marie from Caregivers, can I start with you?
Sure, thank you. I think the most important thing the community should know is that we're here for the caregiver. There's a lot of services out there for folks who are receiving care in the community, and there are not a lot of services for the caregiver themselves. So we are here for support, encouragement, education, and resources. So know that we're here and we understand.
I think that you're absolutely right when you say there's a lot of services for individuals in needs, but caregivers seem to have to really search high and low for something that's going to be for them and something that is probably cost effective or free. I think I heard a lot of free things come out during your presentation. So that's really, really awesome. And I'm glad that you are here. Do most of your programs take place during county core hours of 8:30 to 4:30?
No, actually, one of the things we've learned over the last 2 years is that caregivers are available in the evening, and often that's best for them. So we do change up the hours. We have some programs available during the day, some programs are on the weekends, some are in the evening, to really try and make them available to all the caregivers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Mary, in the MAP office, what would you say is the most important takeaway the community should be aware of?
I think the most important thing is that MAP is really the excellent place to begin your search. There really isn't any wrong topic to bring to us. It's confusing out there. Like Anne-Marie said, there's a lot of different possibilities. It's hard to know what your loved one qualifies for, but that's what we're really good at. We're really good at sharing with you what we think you should move forward from. We can help you narrow down that search to begin your process. When you call us, it's really good to have a couple pieces of important information with you, and that will really help us narrow your search. So number one, your individual, your loved one's age is really important, where they live, and then a little bit about their income and asset information. While lots of programs are out there are free, many of the programs that we're going to screen for have eligibility limits that are both tied to age and to financial circumstances. And so if we know that information right off the bat, then we can really kind of jump on it and answer your question. Now, if you don't know that information, you're welcome. We'll just say to you, hey, call us back with that, and that's fine as well. But having that information up front will kind of give you a head start.
That's awesome. But unlike Mary's program, are your hours of operation hugged a little closely to the 8:30 to 4:30, or do you have an answering service?
So we do not, we will take messages after hours and call you back the following day. You can send us an email after hours and then contact us, but we're not a 24-hour hotline. We are operating Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Okay, Sherry, you are in our SHIP office. You have a lot of takeaways, but what would you say is some of the more important or one of the more important takeaways the community should be aware of?
I think the counselors are very, very good about explaining Medicare. There is no assumption on our behalf that you understand any of it. So we're really ready to hold your hand through all the various pieces that impact your loved one so that you can try to understand it. And the other thing is we're not as rigid like as Medicare that you have to be assigned a paper to be a representative. I mean, we assume if you're calling about a loved one, you're calling because you care about them, you want to help them. So we will be very forthcoming with the information to help you on your way with the Medicare.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I have one more important question for each of you all that's just specific to your area. And I'm actually going to start backwards, and I'll start with you, Sherry.
Okay.
I know that sometimes you talked about switching plans, and this is the open enrollment time. Does Medicare always offer the same providers year after year?
Okay, so open enrollment is the time to switch drug plans, your Part D, and it's the time to look for an HMO. Each year, I call it the Great Unveiling. October 1st is when we get a peek at what the HMOs and drug plans are going to look like for the following calendar year. So
Okay.
anybody who's going to be a actor in the 2022 realm, they have got to have all this stuff approved by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So sometimes, like we had 27 Part D plans last year, now we're going to have 22.
Oh.
This year, there is a new HMO that's trying to come on board. And in 2021, Care First came on board as the HMO. So the HMOs kind of come and they kind of go, depending on, I have a feeling if they make it financially, to be honest. So that's that. Now, the Medicare supplements are advertised on TV right now, making it seem like there's an annual open enrollment for them, but there never, ever is an annual open enrollment for them. So you can change them any time of the year, except you undergo medical underwriting, which is kind of a big negative. Now, there's another open enrollment. I hate this is very confusing. January, February, and March, just for the HMOs. Where you could switch if you got into an HMO that you signed up for one in the fall, and by winter you already go, oh my, why'd I do this? You can get out of it, or switch to a different HMO just months after you signed up for the thing. So there's a couple programs that enable you to switch your drug plan in the middle of the year. So you're picking your drug plan based on the drugs you take today, because we don't know the future. So in 6 months, the doc puts you on something that is not on formulary. What are you supposed to do? Well, one of the things, if you're on a couple of income-based programs, they enable us to switch your plan in the middle of the year. So if you think you need a switch in the middle of the year, just give us a call and we will try to accommodate you.
Wow. What I heard through all of that is that it's increasingly challenging to keep the balls juggling and understanding. So having the SHIP office really could give the older adult or individual with disabilities an opportunity to learn about their options in a safe zone.
Yeah.
So we're really lucky to have said office. So Anne Marie, tell us a little bit about Respite. How would one go about getting Respite in the Caregiver Program?
So specifically the Caregiver Program with Baltimore County, because there are several respite programs out there. the one that we manage in our office in the Caregivers Program, you qualify by providing hands-on care to an older adult that lives in the community. So if you are a caregiver and you are providing care, hands-on care for an older adult living in the community, so not in an assisted living or skilled nursing facility or CCRC, you can call our office to apply for that respite. Same with the grandparents. We have a respite for grandparents raising their grandchildren. So you can call our office about that as well.
Awesome. And can the providers call all throughout the year, or do they have so many respite slots they could use? I say slots, but I don't know exactly what you call them.
Right. We call them stipends. And we
Okay.
have a fiscal year, but they can certainly call throughout the year. Last year, we did not run out of our allotment for the year, and it carried over. So there's never a wrong time to call. Call, get on the cycle, apply, learn about our other services.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And Mary, rounding out with our MAP office, you had shared that there may be some alternate options if someone in the community is just not doing well. Can you share with us what some of those alternate options may be?
Sure. So people who contact our office, may be looking for a whole range of different possible levels of response. So some people may just want a few telephone numbers, copies of information, applications, and we're happy to provide that. If someone calls our office and is, really confused though about where to go next, we'll start in our MAP office. So keep in mind, when we're doing a telephone call, it's not something that's designed to last hours and hours. It's an initial contact. If that worker finds that there's a need for a more in-depth conversation, then they're going to take some information and have another set of workers contact you back to have a more in-depth and perhaps a one-on-one conversation in person, or at this point, we'll do things virtually or on the phone as well. With what we call our community outreach specialists. Our community outreach specialists are stationed around Baltimore County. They're there to provide what we call options counseling, so information about the variety of options. So most typically, that's the scenario where somebody is having a change in their health or their mental health or their cognitive status, and we're trying to figure out, well, what do we want to do next, right? Do we want to bring some services into that person's home? How do we know when we're at the point where maybe they need to make a transition to a more supportive environment, like an assisted living residence or a nursing facility? Can you help us make that decision?
Right.
So we can't make it for you, but we can certainly provide you lots of information on what to do next. And for individuals looking to remain in the community outreach specialists can also help with a number of the applications that are needed to access some of the variety of programs that are out there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I tell you what, it's almost like Christmas when you come to the Department of Aging. You can get a little bit of this, you can get a little bit of that. And I think the staff, which you're hearing today, are really knowledgeable and care about the community, caregivers and individuals in needs, older adults or individuals with disabilities. So I'd like to say thank you very much for sharing your information. You've definitely given us contact information, opportunities to come and stop by the Department of Aging in Towson. And we look forward to hearing many more stories and information that can be shared that will benefit those older adults in Baltimore County. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. McCamie. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Nakia Showell, Vice President and Program Chairman of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter. We want to thank all of you for joining us for part one of our conversation on caregiving for our loved ones through the years, how to navigate aging and disability services. On behalf of the Upsilon Epsilon Omega chapter, We want to thank our three amazing panelists, Ms. Anne-Marie Riehl, Ms. Mary Pivawer, and Ms. Sherry Kolbe. Thank you for sharing such wonderful expertise and resources regarding different facets of caregiving. This was truly an informative and insightful conversation. We also want to thank our lead for today's event and co-lead of our Caregiving Awareness Initiative, Mrs. Lynn McCamie. During this month of November, we celebrate National Family Caregivers Month. Throughout the month, we will continue to share caregiving resources and support the amazing caregivers in our families and communities across the country. In fact, we are continuing our conversation next Monday at 7:08 p.m. on caregiving for our loved ones through the years, with a specific focus on special needs, trust for DDA individuals. Additional upcoming events that we are hosting this week include our next Pretty Great Read Book Club gathering on November 18th at 7 p.m. This event will be held in collaboration with Eta Omega chapter and will feature an insightful discussion on the autobiography of Cicely Tyson's Just As I Am. This Friday at 7 p.m., join UEO as we host part 1 of our annual Pink Out Holiday Expo. This event is not one to miss. Our Holiday Expo will feature none other but Dr. Lisa Williams, owner of the World of EPI, the largest Black-owned multicultural doll company in the world. This Saturday, join the UEO College admissions process, #CAP team, as we host a virtual Zoom workshop on the college application process featuring the Common Black College app. Also on Saturday, our Us Walking Club continues weekly Saturday morning walks. The weather may be changing, but we are continuing to move. Join us on Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. in the Arundel Mills Mall for some wonderful exercise. Further information on these and all of our events can be found by following us on our social media sites and website, www.aka Upsilon Epsilon Omega.org. Again, thank you for joining us and have a safe and wonderful evening.
Thanks so much for joining us this evening. If you would like to stay in the know with all that UEO is doing in the community, please visit our website at www.aka Upsilon Epsilon Omega.org. You can also find UEO on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, all at AKA_UEO. Thank you again and have a great night.